Ethan lingered by the piano, his calloused hands hovering just above the polished wood as if even touching it might feel like trespassing. He could hear the muffled laughter from a few employees who had clearly expected him to back away. His first instinct was to shake his head, retreat to the comfort of his mop and bucket, and let the moment pass. After all, he was the janitor, not the entertainment. But then his gaze flicked to the corner again. His daughter had stopped coloring and was sitting perfectly still, her crayon dangling between her fingers. Her small face carried a look he knew too well, the same one she wore when she asked if he remembered how Mom used to sing in the kitchen. That look pierced him deeper than any snide remark in the room ever could. He drew in a slow breath, trying to steady himself. It had been years since his fingers last danced across piano keys. The last time, his wife was still alive, humming along to the melody as their daughter toddled nearby. The memory was a weight and a comfort all at once. Finally, Ethan pulled out the bench and lowered himself onto it. The chatter in the ballroom softened, a wave of curiosity replacing the laughter. He placed his hands gently on the keys, testing their cool surface, while the entire room waited to see whether this was about to be another joke or something they hadn't expected. The first sound that rose from the piano was a single, gentle chord, trembling but clear. For a moment, it seemed as though he was only testing the keys, and a few guests smirked, waiting for him to stumble. But then his hands moved again, slow, steady, shaping notes into a melody that unfolded like a story being whispered. The ballroom, once alive with chatter and clinking glasses, began to quiet. A woman near the front lowered her champagne flute without realizing it. A waiter paused mid-step, balancing a tray of hors d'oeuvres. The laughter that had lingered in corners faded into silence as the music filled every space. Ethan leaned into the keys, his shoulders loosening as the old familiarity returned. He wasn't just playing, he was remembering. Each note seemed to carry the weight of nights spent dreaming with his wife, of lullabies played for his baby daughter, of loss that still ached but had softened into something tender. The melody was raw yet graceful, rising and falling like a voice breaking into tears and then finding strength again. By the time his left hand wove in the deeper tones, the smirks were gone. People stared, some with parted lips, some with furrowed brows, as if they were being told something personal without words. The music wrapped around them, commanding stillness, demanding to be felt. It was no longer the janitor at the piano, it was an artist, a father, a man who had lived and lost and loved. In an auditorium setting, a well-built man in his 30s with a tan skin tone and light brown hair that is cut short and styled with a fade on the sides, stands on the left side of a grand piano. He is wearing a light brown short-sleeved work shirt with the sleeves rolled up to just above his biceps, revealing his muscular arms. Over the shirt, he has on dark blue overalls with the top portion unzipped, hanging around his waist. He wears light blue gloves on both hands and holds a white cloth in his left hand, while a dark mop with a black handle rests near his feet. His expression is one of slight embarrassment or discomfort, with his gaze directed downwards and to the left. To the right of the piano, an older man, likely in his late 50s or early 60s, with a fair skin tone and light brown hair styled neatly with a side part, stands confidently. He is dressed in a formal black tuxedo with a white dress shirt, a black bow tie, and a black vest. He is pointing his right index finger animatedly at the younger man, while his left hand is held close to his body. His expression is one of amusement, with his mouth open in a laugh or shout. The grand piano between the two men is black and highly polished, with its lid partially open. The auditorium seating is filled with an audience, predominantly appearing to be adults dressed in formal attire, seated in rows of red chairs. The stage floor is a polished wooden surface, reflecting some of the light. The background features ornate architectural details typical of an old concert hall, with gold accents and warm lighting from various lamps.